Forex.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
Okay, can you guys, is it possible to scroll back and see anything? I'm sorry, everybody listening. I just did the show. I talked for 40 minutes, and I was wondering why no one is saying anything. I was like, oh, we only have like 12 people viewing, 13 people viewing. Why is nobody watching? And I realized now that the show wasn't live, because it says live on my top screen where I'm running OBS, but on the bottom it's YouTube, and I didn't press the go live button for YouTube, but I talked for 40 minutes about the market. I am not joking. I just, oh God. Sorry for making you guys wait. I thought I was live since like literally an hour, almost an hour ago. I wish I could post, I'll post a screenshot in TRI where it shows that this stream has been on my end running for an hour and 36 minutes. So I've been here. You missed my amazing short. I know Brian posted about his short, but I also shorted from right now. Now Brian and I did this independently. I didn't work with Brian, but I also shorted from here. I took my first, I'll go through the whole trade. Maybe we'll just go through the, I'm gonna do a really quick one. I guess I rehearsed for this. Oh, I hate myself. Okay, so look, we've got, the big thing is we've got a TD8 here, right? And it's been pretty successful recently. TD9 here, nice 2-day pullback, about 2%. TD8 here, nice pullback. We've got a TD8 again. Now it doesn't always work, but most of the time it does. So likely to get a nice pullback, okay? I showed here in the earlier show that none of you saw. We talked about Max Payne. And I spoke to I guess I was talking to myself. It's around 590 on the SPY. And if we go back, you can see on the SPY, we're at about 595. So maybe we pull back a little bit more going into tomorrow. And that would be, we find the equivalent. So here, 590 is 0.8%. So that would be about another 50 points right there. So I don't think this is over, this pullback. But I did do very well on my puts. Clearly a CRO with all the news and partnerships, feeling a good long-term play. Okay, yeah, sure. Just so you know, I don't really believe too much in fundamentals in crypto. I think it's, I just think most of it's a scam. But I will talk about it, especially since CRO has been around for a very long time, and I did see people in Discord talking about it, so I will take a look. So the big thing is you're probably seeing a lot of rumors or people talking about shorting the market here. Now it's a valid argument. We hit the 2.618 level. We've got a bit of divergence forming with our momentum indicators. We've got a TD8 here, and if you look closely on my screen right over here at this 0.86. This is actually my quintessential short setup in a range. So market came down, we bounced, we moved back up, and we're literally in my short zone. However, we've got the M2 money supply throwing a wrench in this entire plan, and RSI looking quite bullish. Right, this is still in the green zone on a daily chart. MACD has not really broken down that much. It's only a shallow pullback, not something like what you see here. It's a very shallow pullback. And if we go to a weekly chart, look how bullish this weekly chart is. Look at this. We basically broke out, and MACD is extremely positive. How can you, I mean, the trend is essentially up. So I'm short on very low time frames. I'm short. However, on higher time frames, I am still holding my longs in like spot positions, so on and so forth. And that's kind of how I feel about everything in the market. So if you ask me about an individual stock, crypto play, what I just said applies to all of it. It pretty much all trades the same. They trade at different percentages and slightly different times, but for the most part, any stock that anyone here probably knows about is going to, and most of crypto, at least the top like 200 coins, are going to all trade in sync. And that's just how it is. So let me talk about something fun. Let's talk about my trade that I took. So because when this TD78 thing fires, and also on the long side, I start hunting on lower time frames for a setup because I'm like, okay, this is a clear reversal opportunity. This is a high, for me, this is a high likelihood of success setup. And when that happens, I am happy to take higher risks. And that's exactly what I did today. And I'm already out of most of the trade. I have one lottery ticket that will stop out at break even if we do rally here, which we seem to, but it's still up. The position is still up 150% from when I opened it. So, but I closed a lot. Okay, so I saw that we had the TD8. So then I started looking on these lower time frames, 15 minute, 5 minute. So 15 minute had a TD7 come in at the last minute. That was a nice thing that encouraged me to pull the trigger. I had divergence on RSI versus price on a 5 minute time frame. I even looked at the 3 minute. This was my breakdown here, just like that. And this is your start of your breakdown. So when this started to happen, I instantly entered some puts, 0 DTE. Now, I almost never play 0 DTE. I don't recommend it. It's a great way to lose money. But I have two separate accounts. I have a long-term trading account, and then I have what I call my DGen account for these kind of plays, even though I also wait only for high likelihood setups. And it's a cash account. It's a cash account for a reason, because I can only trade like puts and calls. I can't do any kind of margin stuff. I can't over trade with it because cash takes time to settle. So it's a small account, and I don't mind. Even if it went to 0, I wouldn't care that much. But it is a nice account to run some of these trades with, and that's what I did. And I opened it here, and then we can go to these lower time frame setups to the 1 minute chart. So we had the breakdown entered around this area right here, and then what I do is I set for it. It's exactly like Brian does his little old lady, but it's on a super fast position. So as soon as the position doubles, which happens very fast with 0 DT, and it did. From here to here, it doubled very quickly. So right here, my exit was triggered, and I sold 50%, so I'm in a free position. Then I was in a free position. I moved my stops to break even on the rest of it, and then I just waited, and then it rolled over. And as it rolled over, I looked at the range, and I said, where is the likely bounce point? I looked at this range like this. Okay, likely bounce is 78.6 and 88.6. So I took profits here, and I took profits here. Majority of it, I exited here. However, I left a small, about 15% of the position on as a runner, which it has it stop at break even, or it's going to roll over and head much lower. And that'll be a huge win. Like that could be like a 10x. But down here, these that I closed were about a 6x. So still, 600% return that quickly, that can happen. And that's why 0 DTE can be fun, but most of the time you will lose money. So not financial advice, don't recommend it. If you do it on a very small account or like with fake money. But yeah, that was a cool trade today, and I kind of went through how and why I ended up doing it, showing higher time frames and also lower time frames. Hopefully useful. Okay, so S&P. Basically, lower time frame, I'm bearish slightly. Higher time frame, I'm still bullish. And looking for a move higher. A lot of it is because the M2 money supply keeps heading up. They just keep printing. As far as Bitcoin, I know you guys are super interested in Bitcoin. This is a consolidation period. We can see how it perfectly lines up with M2 money supply. We should, between probably January 13th to January 20th, somewhere there, we should start moving up again. But I think first we're going to consolidate. I think we're going to go below these lows, and we're going to go down to around 102, 101K. So don't panic if we go that low. Just consider it a potential buying opportunity. There is major support here. Maybe we even go to 98K, but I think there's going to be a lot of people waiting in the 97, 98K area, so we probably won't get there. We'll only go to about 101, 102K. That's it. And then you're going to get your big bounce, and we're going to get our huge run all the way up, through the summer. I think Bitcoin is just going to like levitate higher. So that's what I'm seeing for Bitcoin here. Not great, this weekly chart kind of divergence. I don't know why I can't move this line. See this? So this would be an interesting line to watch. See if we bounce off that on a weekly chart once we hit it. Very interesting to watch. Okay, so that's my viewpoint on Bitcoin. I talked about the S&P. The last stream where I talked to myself, I talked about Tesla, and I said Tesla was hitting a major support level here. However, the warning sign was yesterday on the daily chart with a major breakdown right here. This was your red alert, get out. Now it's rolling over badly. If this 200-day moving average doesn't hold, your next support is basically 285 to 280 area. Just taking out all the late longs. I think they're using the news and the break between Elon Musk and Trump as an excuse to have this huge pullback. It's the only thing I can think of. Because with the emergence of robo-taxis and Optimus robots, I don't see why Tesla can't shoot way, way higher. However, the 7 on the weekly is not a great thing. You can see every time except for here, that's come in, the stock is pulled back. So here's 7 pull back, 7 pull back, 7 pull back, 7 pull back, 7 pull back. Very high chance of pullbacks, as you can see from this. And here's your big dump. Here you had 2 weeks to get out. Now it's just boop, dying. So I'll probably sit down here, pull back for 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 weeks. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so maybe we pull back like this, and then by after June 20th, maybe we reverse and move higher. We can look at options expiry, like monthly options expiry. What do those look like for Tesla? Way past my bedtime here. This is the monthly, so this is the big one. It looks like max pain is right in the area that we've ended up in, with a lot of puts at 300. So maybe they don't go below 300, and it could potentially just sit in this area between 300 and around 340 until options expire, and then once things expire, then it can take off and move higher. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, that's Tesla. Talked about Boeing. Boeing's also got a 7 on the weekly, so rejecting, but on the weekly chart at the same time, it looks very strong, and I'm sure if this bill passes, it'll probably move a lot higher. I think there's massive additions for defense spending that Boeing would benefit from. Okay, so that's kind of stocks. Also, the quantum computing stuff like IonQ, I'm quite short on. I think it looks pretty bad. So I can see this kind of rolling over on a weekly chart. You've got massive divergence here. And you had a 9 that came in. So I shorted it back here in this area. Thankfully, I shorted in spot. I also bought puts, but ironically, even though it dropped from 48 to now 37, and my puts don't expire till August, they, for some reason, have made almost no money. I'm only up 5%, which is annoying. But that's why you kind of do, you buy puts. Sometimes you buy puts or calls that are in the money originally, so you don't have to deal with this issue. But mine are all the way down here at like 29.30. But I expect it to go way lower, back down here. Okay, so that's IonQ, and quantum computing, and we also got qubits, D-Wave quantum, which looks quite a bit better, but still looks like it could break down. But not in, I don't have as big of a short position on this one as INQ. I think INQ is an easy short, while this one I'm a little bit unsure about. Okay, so moving over to crypto, I already talked about Bitcoin a bit, looking quite bearish on a daily chart. But on like an 8-hour, you could see how this is starting to put in a bit of a divergence in momentum versus price, and how you could see we can just do a wick and flush things out and then bounce. That's the obvious play here for me with crypto. I want to talk about others, the others index, which is basically all the altcoins except Ethereum and a couple other ones. Actually, just Ethereum, and I think I can't remember the other coin. But this is basically all the altcoins without the huge top 10 coins, maybe. You can see this is our downtrend. Still in a downtrend. Do have a 7 that's coming here, but I don't see this reversing until Bitcoin does. I think we'll sweep the lows, maybe down to 230, even 220, and then eventually bounce in and hopefully move to new highs. I don't like that. I talked about this on my stream where I talked to myself. I thought I was live. I wish I'd done a stream last week, because this is where things kind of broke. Like once this daily broke down, that was the sign to, okay, maybe take some profits and get out. And it's not as bullish. I was hyper bullish for months. You guys know I was hyper bullish all of April, May. This was supposed to be a huge buying opportunity. I thought we'd W here and then move higher to this 2.618. It didn't happen. It broke down instead. And now it could go all the way down here to 215. Like if Bitcoin goes to 100K and BTC does not change, BTCD, then there's no reason why this couldn't do like a quick wick and then move up. I don't see why that couldn't happen. So just understand that if you're long in altcoins, understand that they could pull back quite a bit more from here, and it's going to be a little painful, but eventually they should bounce and move to all-time high, not all-time highs, but move higher along with Bitcoin. And that's because BTCD looks like it's not going to rally. It's going to roll over. It looks like it wants to roll over. Weekly chart really looks like it wants to roll over. MACD just went negative on the weekly. Huge bear sign. You can see last time it went negative, it really rolled over here as well. Also here, right there. So I'd really like to see this roll over, go down to 62.4, and then head even lower before we get to that like 58 level. And then we'll see if we can break down from this uptrending parallel channel that's been going on since 2022. 2022, 3 years of alts underperforming Bitcoin. Yeah, that's all I've got. I mean, we can look at CRO that someone requested. Weekly chart looks okay. It looks weak. This looks like could potentially break down and head down to 0.08. It's basically the same as the other chart I just showed you. Like it's going to copy that. So, you know, I could see a scenario like this where you head down to 0.085 or so, and then you bounce and you just take off. I don't know how high you'll go, but I could see something like this scenario. That's what I'm picturing. Okay, so that's kind of all of crypto. I think you can extrapolate what I've said and apply it to basically any coin. Omar is asking about silver. Okay, I'll do silver really quick. Oh, that's why you want to talk about it. It recently broke out. Okay, well, my target on silver hasn't changed. It's been 48 for a while. We're hitting the 3 level. The next is 3.59 at 40, and then finally 48. I'm not changing this. this has been the chart. It's been pretty consistent. You can see hitting that 2.618. We rejected. We sat in this area for a long time. First rejection was in October 2024. Finally, we're pushing through. Yeah, I mean, this is potentially a big breakout right here. Something like that. And if you want to go to, look at these lower time frames, you could say that this was a major consolidation area here. Just like that. And you basically tagged your 2.618. And your 4.619 is up here at 39. So between 39 and 40 is going to be, oh, sorry guys, is going to be your next resistance zone. Hi, Constantine. So if you're a silver bug, that's your next level. That's all I'm seeing. Looks good. It does look looks good. Very bullish. All right. I know it's a short show, guys, but I'm gonna call it just because I am sorry about this, but I did the show already for like 50 minutes. I thought I was live when I wasn't. So hilarious. I'll post a summary of the whole show on Discord tomorrow. And so in like 12 to 14 hours. So anybody that was too lazy or wants a recap can look there in my Julian Trades room. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Be careful trading this weekend on the long side. Understand that there could be some shenanigans. Until Bitcoin taps at least 103K, 102.5K, do not be careful with longs. And especially on leverage, because you could get it, especially in alts, you get some serious wicks that could, or some serious, drops that could hurt you. So be careful. Don't get liquidated. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I will see you in Discord or on here next week. All right. Bye.